Bill Finger recalled that Robin was an outgrowth of the conversation I had with Bob. As I said, Batman was a combination of Douglas Fairbanks and Sherlock Holmes. Holmes had his Watson. The thing that bothered me was that Batman didn't have anyone to talk to, and it got a little tiresome always having him thinking. I found that as I went along, Batman needed a Watson to talk to. That's how Robin came to be. Bob called me over and said he was going to put a boy in the strip to identify with Batman. I thought it was a great idea. Kane, who had previously created a sidekick for Peter Pup, proposed adding a boy named Mercury who would have worn a super costume. Robinson suggested a normal human, along with the name Robin, after Robin Hood books he had read during boyhood, and noting in a 2005 interview he had been inspired by one book's NCYF illustrations. The impetus came from Bill's wanting to extend the parameters of the story potential and of the drama. He saw that adding a sidekick would enhance the drama. Also, it enlarged the readership identification. The younger kids could then identify with Robin, which they couldn't with Batman, and the older ones with Batman. It extended the appeal on a lot of levels. The new character, an orphaned circus performer named Dick Grayson, came to live with Bruce Wayne as his young ward in Detective Comics issue 38 in April of 1940 and would inspire many similar sidekicks throughout the golden age of comic books. Robin was introduced as Batman's sidekick in Detective Comics issue 38 in April 1940. When Kane wanted Robin's origin to parallel Batman's, Finger made Robin's parents circus performers murdered while performing their trapeze act. Finger recalled, Robin was an outgrowth of the conversation I had with Bob. As I said, Batman was a combination of Douglas Fairbanks and Sherlock Holmes. Holmes had his Watson. The thing that bothered me was that Batman didn't have anyone to talk to, and it got a little tiresome always having him thinking. I found that as I went along, Batman needed a Watson to talk to. That's how Robin came to be. Bob called me over and said he was going to put a boy in the strip to identify with Batman. I thought it was a great idea. Comics historian Jim Steranko wrote in 1970 that Finger's slowness as a writer led Batman editor Whitney Ellsworth to suggest Kane replace him, a claim reflected in Joe Disra's description of Finger as notoriously tardy. During Finger's absence, Gardner Fox contributed scripts that introduced Batman's early Bat arsenal such as the utility belt, the Bat gyro/plane and the Batarang. Upon his return, Finger created or co-created items such as the Batmobile and Batcave, and is credited with providing the name Gotham City. Finger wrote the debut issue of Batman's self-titled comic book series which introduced the Joker and the Catwoman. Among the things that made his stories distinctive were a use of giant-sized props, enlarged pennies, sewing machines, or typewriters. Two of the prevalently featured trophies in Batman's Batcave, a full-size animatronic Tyrannosaurus Rex and a giant replica of a Lincoln Penny, were both introduced in stories written by Finger. He was one of the writers of the syndicated Batman comic strip from 1943 through 1946. Eventually, Finger left Kane's studio to work directly for DC Comics, where he supplied scripts for characters including Batman and Superman. A part of the Superman mythos which had originated on the radio program made its way into the comic books when Kryptonite was featured in a story by Finger and Al Plastino in Superman issue 61 in November 1949. As writer of the Superboy series, Finger created Lana Lang, a love interest for the teenage superhero. Continuing his Batman work, he and artist Sheldon Moldoff introduced Ace the Bat-Hound in Batman issue 92, Batmite in Detective Comics issue 267, Clayface in Detective Comics issue 298 and Betty Kane, the original Batgirl in Batman 139. Finger wrote for other companies, including Fawcett Comics, Quality Comics and Marvel Comics, 1940's predecessor, Timely Comics. Finger created the All Winners Squad in All Winners Comics issue 19 for Timely.